Right, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to create a page where users can add tags to the papers that they've just added to the database. Okay, so what will happen is the user creates finds a paper, puts in all the details, presses submit, but instead of immediately showing the list of papers again, which is what currently happens, whereby we redirect the user to mobilestandards.aspx, instead of that, what we're going to try to do is take the user to a new page where they will be asked then to add some tags to the article they've just inserted into the database. Okay, so we're going to make it nice and simple, such that immediately upon inserting an article into the database, then the user is asked to tag it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do simply. Now, so what we need to do is create a new page, but on this new page we will also need to have the title of the article just uploaded, and also we've hidden somewhere we want a reference to that record in the articles table. So we want a record to the ID of the record in the articles table that has just been added. So anyway, so let's start first of all. Let's create a new page. It's going to be a web form as usual. So I say add item web form, and I'm going to call it something like new article tags.aspx. Okay, so that will, by doing that, this should create our new page. There it is, new article tags, and then it should appear on the stage as it is. So if we click it into design view, what we can do straight away is to put in our banner, isn't it? So if we click under web controls, let's just kind of drag our banner into, I don't know, it's going to put it inside this div, which I don't really want. I would like it go above the div. Okay, so what I'm going to do before I actually drag it over, what I'm going to do is go into the source, just above the div, and just type in something like IGGG or something like that, such that when I go back into design, I've got a space where I can actually drag the banner above the div. So there it is. Now I can drag the banner, and the banner can go there above the div. Okay, so if I go back into the source window, then I can remove that IGGG stuff. Okay, great. So now we're above the div. That's fine. And now let's that's the page being created. That's all we need to do at this point. Although what I would like to do is, as I said, I would like to be able to display the title of the page we've just of the article we've just added to the database. So let's just put some kind of placeholder in this page, just as a place where we can type in, where we can just add the name of the article. So let's view toolbox. Okay, we're bring up the toolbox, and then we'll just add a placeholder with a label. Okay, actually for this point of view, we don't actually need a placeholder right at this very moment. We'll just add a label here, and we'll just give it the name of if I click on it. Okay, I want to see there's the label. I just need to see the properties for that. If I right click on it, choose properties, and then it says form 1, which I don't want. It's the label I want to see the properties for. So for some reason it's not letting me see. So if I click on label 1 here, I can see the properties, and what I'm going to do is I'll just give that the name of article underscore title. Okay, so do that article underscore title, and that will be the label. And now what I'm going to do is go back to the previous page, which was new article.aspx. So instead, currently it redirects to mobilestandards.aspx. Let's now make it redirect to new article tags.aspx. Okay, so it's going to move to a different place. Okay, so there we go. That should be fine. At this point, I would actually, because I wanted to carry some values over from the previous page to this page, probably another way of actually writing that, and which has more, it's more kind of ASP-like, is to say server transfer. So if I type in server.transfer, Okay, and that will take us to that page. Okay, and by doing that, it's more easy to carry over variables if we need to. Okay, so it means it does exactly the same thing, however. So we're going over to new article tags.aspx. Okay, but as I said, what we also want is we want the number of the record that has just been inserted into the database to be also sent over, okay, to this new page. So how are we going to do that? Well, first of all, we've got to get that record. We've got to get that record from this page that we're sending over. Okay, so to get hold of that record, there is a function that you can use. There is a call that you can use called select identity, which will get you the record, the ID of the record you've just added. So as you see here, this is command execute query. That's where up to now, that's where the article data that you've just inserted is then put into the database in this particular line here. Okay, so now what we need to do is find out what is the ID number of the thing we've just added. Okay, and that is not too difficult to do. What we do is we need to create another command. So we change the command string. So let's say cmd equals new OLEDB command and open bracket. Now this is a very particular SQL statement. Okay, let me just hide the properties now so it's giving me more space. Okay, let me just drag it to give me more space. OLEDB command select at identity, select at identity, and what that does is that will give us the ID number of the record just added. Okay, so select and select at identity, and it takes another parameter which is OLEDB.con, which is our connection object. Okay, so we need to add that line. What it will do is we'll create another command object which will give us the identity of the record last added. Okay, so let me just move that and give me more space. Okay, I can find out what that is by doing, instead of saying execute non-query, because this is not a non-query, this is a query. We want to find something out, we want to get something back, whereas previously all we want to do is add something to the database. Now we want to get something back. So what we actually say is something like this: dim NID, so like I'm just saying numerical ID equals CMD, and then so instead of execute non-query, we're going to say execute scalar. Okay, execute scalar will actually return a number. Okay, it's going to return a number from that query we've just made. Select at identity, and that means select give us. Actually, it should be capitals rather than lowercase. It should give us the ID or the auto number of the record just added to the database. So we've got select at double at sign identity OLEDB con. That will give us the value. Okay, and now we need to somehow pass it to this new page. Okay, now we've already seen a way of passing, and that's by adding a parameter to the query string. Sorry, adding a name value pair to the query string. So here, as it says new article tags.aspx, what we can do then is put a question mark and then some name. Okay, and so new article tags aspx. What I will just put in here something like NID equals, and then we concatenate to that the real value of NID, which will be the record number, okay, of the article we've just added to the database. Okay, so there it is. Silver transfer. Now that will then take us to new article tags. So let's go to that one, new article tags.aspx. Okay, that's what it looks like visually, but we want the code really. So let's go to new article tags.aspx. Right click, choose view code. Okay. Now here, just to make sure that everything works, I just want to show in that label field, which we currently call article title, I just want to show that the title of the article that we've just added and the ID of it. So what we can do, so we say article title, okay, dot text equals, okay, so we can say to get hold of the thing we've sent, which we've added to the end, we can say request.params. So request.params open bracket quote NID. Okay, but we can also use that one to actually find out the actual text, because all of the values that were existing in the previous page can also be passed over. Okay, so we need to find the title, okay, of the article we've just added, and one way we can do that is by using let me just remember, actually, because yes, that's right, we've added the thing. It's also in that. If we look here into new article, let me just go into new article.vb. Okay, we've got these values here: article author, article underscore title. Okay, but these values will also be capturable through the query string in new article tags, and we can actually get hold of that because that is a text field. So I can get hold of that by just in new article tags.vb. I could place I say ampersand quote space quote and then ampersand request.params open bracket quote article underscore title, which is the article underscore title from the previous page, from new article.aspx. Let me just show you that new article. I'm going to show you the designer for new article.aspx. Okay, now there you see there's that text box called article title, article underscore title. I've also sillily, not very intelligently, given it the same name, a label of the same name on new article tags.aspx. Okay, there's the label here. I've also given it the name article title. But you see, because that existed as a text field in new article.aspx, its value after we've done the server transfer will carry through the request params into new article tags request params. So we could get there then the NID, which comes from the end of the HTTP reference, the web address, and we can get this from the text field. Okay, so let's see if that works. Let's go to let's try and add a new article. Okay, so let's go into that page and let's try running it. Okay, so let's bring up Firefox. So this should bring us up in the new articles. I'm going to just type in a quite slightly silly thing. I'm just going to type in something like AA. Okay, and I say I'm just AA title. I'm going to change the title to AA title. Then add article entry to database. Now, what you see here, there you see is the number 10, which is going to be, if I'm right, the 10th record in the list of articles in the database, and AAA title is the title of that article. So let's just go into Access. Okay. So I'm just going to open Access a minute. As per usual, it's going to take a while. There it is. There's my mobile standards paper. Let me just now look inside my papers table. And you see, there it is. Look, there's number 10. There's the 10th record. Okay, the ID is 10. The author is AA. And the title is AA title. And so all that. So we've managed to. That's the first hurdle over. We've managed to carry the get the ID of the new record that's just been added to the database, and we've also passed over the title from the previous page to this page. Okay, so that's a good start. That's where we want to be at this moment. Okay, the next thing after that is to wonder precisely how to design the tag page, and also to think a bit about how this new article tags.aspx file is going to behave. Also, just at this one point, you just might notice something very interesting. Although we're inside a page called new article tags, the actual the web address as it is here is actually new articles, so it looks to the user as if they're still in the old page, but they are actually in a different page. Okay, so that's what we've done so far. So now we're going to the next task, which will be designing the page where we're going to be adding the tags.